What if LeBron James was in World War I? Imagine LeBron James was born in 1895 instead of 1984 and somehow ended up fighting in World War I. By 1917, the war had already turned into a complete disaster. Both sides had spent years launching massive attacks that gained almost nothing while killing hundreds of thousands of soldiers. The fighting had become so pointless and brutal that a lot of people on both sides were starting to wonder what the hell they were even doing anymore. Generals kept ordering the same hopeless charges over and over again, and the only thing that ever changed was how many bodies were left in no man's land. The war had turned into a meat grinder, and neither side seemed to have any real plan except to keep throwing more men into it until the other side ran out of people. Morale was low, supplies were running thin, and many soldiers were starting to question whether any of this was worth it. Then LeBron shows up. At first, nobody knows what to make of him. He's massive compared to most of the other soldiers, moves differently than everyone else, and keeps saying things that don't make any sense in 1917. He talks about spacing, help side defense, and playing the right way, like these are normal things to say while getting shot at. The other soldiers have no idea what he's talking about, but they notice that whenever he's involved in a fight, their unit actually starts winning instead of just dying in the mud like everyone else. LeBron refuses to do the same suicidal charges everyone else is running. He moves his men around like he's setting up plays, uses the terrain in ways that shouldn't work, and somehow keeps pulling off victories that military experts say are impossible. Word spreads fast across the front. German soldiers start getting nervous when they hear his unit is across from them. Not because he's some super soldier, but because he's playing the war like it's a game he already knows how to win. By 1918, LeBron has had enough. He walks straight into no man's land and tells both sides he's done fighting for either of them. Instead, he announces he's forming his own team. He picks 4 soldiers, 2 from each side, and creates a 5-man unit that he calls his super team. The members are LeBron James Goopus, Loopy Binky Waffles, Captain Dingus, and finally, Sergeant Snort. This group becomes the most feared and ridiculous fighting force on the entire Western Front. They don't follow normal military tactics. They move like they're running plays. They communicate using complex call-out terms that confuse everyone around them. Somehow, this absurd 5-man squad keeps winning battles that entire divisions couldn't win. They treat machine gun positions like they're guarding the paint and somehow keep finding ways to create advantages in situations where everyone else is just getting slaughtered. Both the German and Allied high commands are completely humiliated. They've spent years throwing millions of men at each other with almost nothing to show for it, only for the war to now be decided by one giant American and 4 soldiers with names like Goopus Loopy and Binky Waffles. Some officers try to launch attacks specifically against LeBron's super team, but the regular soldiers on the ground start refusing. Nobody wants to be the one who lost to Sergeant Snort and Captain Dingus. Eventually, both sides come to the same conclusion. If they keep fighting, LeBron's ridiculous super team is just going to keep cooking them. The idea of losing World War I to Sergeant Snort and Captain Dingus is apparently too embarrassing for either side to accept, so they do the only thing that makes sense. They surrender, not to each other, to LeBron's super team. By November 1918, the war is over. Historians would later try to explain it with politics and economics, but the soldiers who were actually there knew the real reason. World War I ended because LeBron James got tired of carrying it and formed a 5-man super team that was too powerful for either side to handle.